Okay. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay? If so, give me a reaction or something.
All good, loud and clear.
Perfect. We're very excited for our next version of our community AMA here. We have Johnny from the MazeX team and my dog behind me joining us. So very excited to kind of get to our next level of all these questions that have been asked by the community for the next little bit. So with that in mind, if we have questions as we go through, as always, please raise your hand and we'll answer them as we go along. There will also be some time at the very end of this to ask more questions.
Awesome. Sounds good. So let's jump right into this, Matt. First question here is: will there be 2FA for the MP?
Yeah, so the team will be adding additional layers of security, including two-factor authentication. That will be in a future update, but it is coming. It's being configured right now, basically.
Okay, and next question: will land have a default price?
Okay, so this is a question that a lot of people have been asking quite a lot. There is no default price for land because these are self-custodial, right? Because you own the land. Players do need to set the price themselves in game. So there's no intention to be able to have an outside of the game method to set this. You have to set the price in game.
Okay, and will we be able to sell the NFT champs on OpenSea? And will we be able to view their stats and images there as well?
Yeah, so another big one that we've talked about for quite a while, all the metadata that we're viewing in game, all the different evolutions, all the different fusions, all the different stat upgrades, that sort of thing, is going to be the same metadata that will appear in OpenSea. So this is being implemented, but that is will be pushed to blockchain, be pushed to the metadata that you'll be able to view and then be able to sell. So if you upgrade in game, if you fuse in game, you then will be able to buy and sell the champs with that metadata, with those upgraded stats, actually on OpenSea, which is very cool.
Awesome. And we have another OpenSea question here. Will we be able to trade our passive reward NFTs on OpenSea?
Oh, so this is another really cool one, actually. So the passive reward NFTs, there's been a lot of chat about that at the moment. So as soon as we are able to export the in-game wallet from Celestial Ultimate and actually be able to take that into self-custody, you will be able to actually sell those passive reward NFTs on OpenSea. So those will be visible out there. They'll be tradable. They will be sellable, in game and out of game, which is very cool.
Great. And can we get an explanation on statistics? Specifically, how do the stats change when a champion levels up? And how are the stats affected by fusing and evolving champions?
Yes, all the technical questions that start coming out after we have EA and people have been playing for a little bit. So, Fusion at the moment, every single Fusion does provide an across the board, so across all the stats, a 50-point boost to your champion. So, if you fuse champions, you get 50 points across the board to the champion you're fusing. In that the initial stats that the champion possesses does not actually influence the amount that each individual stat receives. So it is a flat rate that does fuse into it, but it does not work proportionally in game. It's a 50 points across the board increase.
10-4. 10-4. And next question. Are the NFTs from the passive rewards exclusive to the passive reward system?
Okay, so passive rewards at the moment, all the NFTs that are from the passive rewards are, in fact, exclusive to the passive reward system. So if you want to get some of those charms that we're talking about, the boost in experience, the boosts in luck, that sort of thing, you will either have to buy them from someone who has gotten them from passive rewards, or you will have to set up your own passive reward system. So that is one of the use cases for the champ token, to hold it, to lock it, so you get these NFTs that then can be traded later, which is really cool. And it does give us another use case that is confirmed for the token. So I see Bizos up here. Do you have a question?
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, you was talking about the passive rewards NFTs be able to trade on OpenSea. Is it any timeline when it will be available?
Yeah, so the only thing that I've been given at the moment is basically as soon as we're able to export the wallet from the game, that point is when you're going to be able to trade on OpenSea. So we don't have a specific time for that, but at the same point that you're able to export the wallet, that's where you'll be able to start trading.
But then roughly, yeah, is it going to be weeks, months, quarters?
I personally do not have that information, so I can't give that to you at the moment.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, no problem. Okay, so let's keep moving here. Red, you are
Great.
up.
Yep. So the next is about stackable effects. Can we use different items like the greater experience boost and an experience booster simultaneously, and if they have the same attribute effect? For example, if you have one XP boost at 10% and the other gives 5%, can we use them together?
Yeah, so these are actually stackable. If you're utilizing multiple of these, you are going to be able to stack. So if you have, one that is 10 and then you have another one that is 5, you'll get a 15% stackable boost. That is intended. That is something that the dev team specifically and Alex had told me that was specifically intended. The cool thing about this is those things are only coming from, once again, if they're NFTs from the passive rewards. So in order for someone to be able to get those, they either have to buy them and stack them, or they have to get the champ token, lock it away with some champions, and stack them. But yeah, it is stackable.
Got it. And just to clarify, even the max is stackable. So if one gives us max 50% and another gives us max 25%, these two can be stacked.
Yes, that's correct. So if you have one that goes up to max 25 and the other goes up to max 50, you will have a total boost of 75%.
Awesome. Okay, and can we play on two different accounts through the same computer? Or does that mess with the game files?
No, it doesn't mess with the game files at all. So this is actually something you can do if you want. You can sign in with two different accounts. You can definitely play on two different accounts on the same computer. It does not mess with the game files at all.
Interesting. Okay, next question. When can we expect the possibility to hold our NFTs in our self-custodial wallet?
Yeah, so the self-custodial wallets, along with exporting the NFTs and the rewards, along with exporting the wallets themselves, along with more secure authentication, including 2FA, these are all going to be bundled together in a future update. So along with that authentication, we're going to soon allow players to export their keys, which means they're also going to be able to hold their NFTs in their self-custodial wallets. That's all coming together, as they say in crypto, soon, right? Like it's coming when it's coming, and that will all be bundled together. We want to make sure it's secure, make sure there's no issues there, because if you're exporting things that have private keys, you need to make sure that's right. You don't want anyone to get hacked, and you don't want that information to be non-secure.
Yeah, they certainly go together. Okay, next question is regarding evolution. It is mentioned that we have an evolution serum, but we see that the champions are now evolved when infusing without the need of that serum. Is it a bug?
Yeah, so no, this is not a bug. The evolution serum actually was renamed in the game to the Hypergem. So evolution serum is now Hypergem. And this item is needed for all second evolutions. So the second time you evolve, the second evolution that you go to is where you need the Hypergem there.
Got it. And how can evolved NFTs be listed for sale?
So as we said earlier, the OpenSea metadata, the metadata that is going to be associated with the NFT, will be updated to reflect every evolved champion. So any champions that are sold in-game or on OpenSea will retain their stats. So it's no different than anything we were talking about before. That metadata will be pushed. It will be available. And then if you're spending the time, evolving your champions, upgrading your champions, fusing your champions, that will travel along with it. So, you get to a point where you say, hey, I have too many champions, I need to sell some of them. Or, hey, you want to farm champions and sell them to other players. You can do that, putting in time, by going to, battle and find these fusion discs and then fusing champions and building up stats. That data will always travel with the NFTs themselves, including evolutions, including fusions, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's exciting. And next is a question on counters. Can we get more information around counters? Some people have them for their champions in game and some do not.
Yeah, so this is part of the strategy actually of the in-game system. Not all champions actually have counters. This is not something that happens with every single champion. So if your champion doesn't have a counter, that's probably part of that champion. That being said, the team internally is discussing the possibility of adding a function that will allow champions to learn new moves via items. So, for example, hey, you want to learn a counter? Maybe there is an item that you do have to buy or earn or find via a quest line, something like that, and then use that on your champion where it can learn a new move or it can learn a new counter or something like that. But at the moment, the default is that not all champions have counters.
Okay, very clear here. What type is Vex?
Okay, so Vex right now, once again, getting into like kind of the technical questions, Vex is both a flying and a light type. So that kind of gives you the answer there. Not much to talk about. I do see Freelancer here. So I'll have you come on up, and then after that, we'll have Cryptozard.
Cool. Hey, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Hello,
Welcome.
hello. So it's a quick one. Just going back to the question about counters. Some of us back in the day when we were buying the champions originally off of the marketplace, some of them had counters listed, and that actually probably affected the choices that some of us made. So I just wanted to know, regarding ones that are going to know counters and ones that don't, will that be true to what was originally displayed in the marketplace, or is there a different plan?
So when you have items that are displayed in the marketplace, those are actually used for player versus player. Those are not necessarily in-game, like in-game in the environment, but those should be available when we have the player versus player update.
Awesome. Brilliant. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for that. Next up, we have Cryptozard.
Hiya, guys. There's probably not much information you can give, really, but I want to know what you can. But basically, I want to know if there's anything you can tell us of PvP and tournaments at the moment.
Yes, so that information is coming a little bit later. We have some questions about that. So just hold your horses on that one.
I'll come back to that then. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, no problem. So let's keep moving since we don't have any other questions for the now. So Red, you are up.
Okay, next question. Does every champion evolve after infusing 2 NFTs into that champion?
Okay, once again, a technical question here. So most champions, most, not all, can evolve after infusing 2 NFTs into the champion. Eventually, every playable champion will be able to evolve. So this is not implemented for every champion at the moment, but this is something that will be continuing to be dealt with as we move forward and update the game as we get closer to full release. But at the moment, most champions can have that. 2 NFTs are infusing into the original champion, and then it will evolve.
Great. Now, when will the team provide patch notes, rough release times for scheduled updates, and warnings of the game or marketplace going offline? A lot of professional game studios do this, so we are a few weeks into EA. This would be a great time to start.
Yeah, so this is definitely something on like the immediate to-do list. This is not something we're pushing off further. The exact quote that I got from Alex here is we recognize the importance of supplying patch notes, sketching out tentative timelines for updates, and alerting users about possible online periods for the gamer marketplace, right? So we're working on it. That is something that's coming up. Also, I personally am involved in working on the FAQ and the documents at the moment. And so that is also part of that conversation. So things are in the works right now. It is being worked on. I personally am working on some of that sort of things, but the patch notes is definitely on the immediate to-do list. We're trying to get those out as quickly as possible without affecting the development timeline.
Okay, thank you, Matt, for that. Now, the next question, this user feels like we are holding back a bit on Twitter still. Is there a reason for this?
Yeah, okay. So specific project events are being set up at the moment. There's going to be updates, there's going to be events, there's going to be player versus player, all these things. So what we're doing right now is building a lot of things behind the scenes to support that. In the near future, we are initiating a comprehensive marketing campaign that will heavily leverage Twitter as the main platform here. So that's something that's coming up right now, and that's in the plans at the moment. So that's what we're focusing on at the moment. The primary focus, however, as always, is to make sure we're using the marketing resources effectively, making sure that we're reaching the target audience of this game, and making sure that we're also making a significant impact and a long-lasting impact, making sure we're getting the gamers. They're going to stick around and play and end up buying champ and end up getting champions and farming on land and things like that. So really homing in on exactly what we're doing here and who we're targeting. But there are definitely some big things coming, and that's why we've kind of been backing off Twitter a little bit.
Okay, makes sense. And are we going to implement a stamina system to the game along with the advanced movement system?
Yeah, so this is something that kind of came out of nowhere for me when it was asked. But the short answer is yes. There are plans to incorporate a stamina system into the movement mechanics. This functionality is something that is going to significantly alter the way that players actually try to avoid encounters with aggressive champions. So that's something that's going to be happening. What is an aggressive champion? I'm going to let everyone speculate on that in our our Telegram chat. But there is a stamina system coming. And as some of the users pointed out, there are also some fun things. They're also involved with movements as far as different methods of movements that are involved in the game files. So stamina is a part of that. It's not something that's going to happen immediately, but there are plans for that to incorporate a stamina system.
Okay. And will losing a match or dying while roaming in adventure mode have any negative effect on your champions or avatar?
At the moment, not really. I mean, the current build is everyone's playing it at the moment. There's no severe effects, right? If you die in adventure mode, if you go on out, if you lose a battle, right, your champion is just super low HP and you have to heal. Not a big deal. You go farm potions, you bring it back up. Not to say that will not change at any point, but there's no plans at the moment for that to change.
Okay, and is there going to be a UI for avatar items and equipment?
Yeah, possibly. That's not something that's exactly at the forefront of the development right now. Forefront development is security, making sure that there's enough content there in EA for people to really become hooked on what we're doing, making sure lands get out, that sort of thing. But the probably that I was given here, the most likely that I was given here was you're most likely going to have a UI for avatar items and equipment in the full release of the game. So whenever we get there, that's the point at which you're going to see a UI that deals with that.
Sounds good. And this next question is about the community. Is there a way for the community to support in the speed of development other than sending bug reports?
Bug reports are obviously super, super important right now. As much info as you can give us on that front is great. Make sure you include your UID as well as screenshots or video or anything you can give us about what you did before, what happened, when it happened, all that sort of thing. But that being said, the team is looking to give the community more control over the project in the future. For now, most of the core features that we're talking about, these metadata updates, land, using Champ to buy in-game, all these things that we're talking about, the blockchain integration side of things, are kind of the focus at the moment, in addition to dealing with sensitive data. Obviously, for exporting keys at the moment, we really don't want to deal with any issues with that. Once these critical features are fully tested, and my dog decides to bark, once these critical features are fully tested, community members will be giving more opportunities on that front. So getting all the big things out of the way, and then we're slowly going to integrate the community, making sure that you actually can have more say about the development of the project moving forward.
Got it. So we will wait for your dog's bark on that one.
Rough.
Rough. The next question is, can we get a detailed list and description of all potential rewards from passive rewards?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, we're working on this at the moment. So we're breaking down all of the major features. We're breaking down all of the in-game items, all of the champions, all of each tier's passive rewards, that sort of thing. Like really making sure that we have all of that documented so everyone knows exactly what's happening. I'm intimately involved with this right now. It's happening. There's just a lot of information that's going into it.
Okay, thanks, Matt. So we are coming up to the last 4 questions. Anybody, if you do have some comments that you wanted to make, feel free to raise your hand. But we will start on these last 4. So not much left to go. The next question, Matt, is, will different rarities of the item stack? Well, I guess we asked this earlier, but we'll answer it again. Will an experience booster and a greater experience booster work at the same time?
Yeah, so similar question, not exactly the same here. But yes, all the items stack, and that does include experience boosters.
Great. Okay, and will more items be added to the passive rewards over time?
Yes, 100%. The passive rewards are looking to change over time as we introduce new features, champions, and regions. That doesn't mean that's going to happen immediately, but that is something that the team is definitely looking forward to. Obviously, if there seems to be an influx of holders that are utilizing passive rewards and there's some sort of imbalance, maybe those rewards will be restricted and something new will be put in its place. If there's a new area that's coming out, maybe something thematic will be added, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Great. And interesting question here. Can we get a rough estimate of the current downloads on Epic Games?
Yeah, so this is really fun, and everyone's been bugging me about this, and I have really no idea until I was given the answer to this question. So I'm continuing to hold you hostage here. But yeah, we have actually reached over 20,000 owners on the Epic Games Store. We're over 20,000 people that have downloaded this game at the moment, and we're hoping to really ramp this up once we ramp up marketing. I mean, 20,000 for where the game's at, I think personally is fantastic. And once we get marketing there, once the game is in a state where we really have a lot of content and everything's working as it should, including lands, that sort of thing, marketing is just really going to bring people in there. But yeah, over 20,000 at the moment, and that's really fantastic. I was surprised when I saw that, and I'm also very very bullish with that number.
Yeah, that's amazing. And do you have any data on these 20,000 users?
Well, at the moment, not a lot of data at the moment. I would just be given basically the number. This is how many downloads that we've had and how many people that have been playing the game. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what sort of data Epic shares, but I guess that's another conversation. So the last question here, Matt, is, are there any announcements and what will be in the next major update?
Yes, have a major update. We're already asking about the next one. I love it. So the next update is specifically going to be focusing on player islands and land and online player versus player, right? So that's the next major update. There is not a date for that at the moment. However, those two major features are going to be the next major update. Player Islands, land is going to be pushed, and online versus player is going to be pushed. So that's super exciting. And once that's out, like we start getting those burns happening and we start getting the NFT farming and the egg hatching, that's fantastic. So really excited for that. And I'm looking forward to, breeding some champions here.
Awesome. Did we get somebody pulled up? I thought I saw Hollywood.
We did. I believe Hollywood's up next.
Hey, you guys, how's it going?
Welcome. Nice to see you.
Thanks for taking me again here. So my question was, and I think a lot of people have really been, I guess, eager for this. This is something that I've been waiting a super long time for. I'm super excited about. But I know that when the team originally launched on Epic Games, they did mention that they were going to have the full trailer was going to be released when we originally came on Epic Games. So obviously things change over time and strategy and all that kind of stuff. But I was just wondering, do you have any idea when we might see the new trailer, like the full trailer for the game?
Yeah, so I believe we talked about this last AMA a little bit, and I believe it's going to be coming out with this next round of marketing here. The idea being, as everyone has been saying within the Telegram chats, is making sure the game is at a place where people become like really addicted to it, and then drive marketing home, get people on the game, get the token economy really moving. So that's where I'm guessing it's coming out next. But I do not have anything specific from the core team, other than that's where I personally think that's going to be coming out.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep, no problem. Do we have any other questions? Do we have anyone else that wants to step up and ask a few things? That's now is the time to be able to do that if you have an answer. Oh, yep, okay. CryptoZard. Hello.
I didn't know if I could put my hand up or not, but what's the word? There's been a lot of talk about Telegram today, kind of, but I feel like Discord's getting kind of overlooked to a certain extent, whereas with the Telegram, it's very flourishing at the community, and I'm not sure if there's any intentions to focus on getting it back towards Discord at any point.
Well, at the moment, I think the focus is still on Twitter and Telegram. Trying to get there and trying to be responsive is difficult, even within, the 3 to 4 to 5 chats that we have going on in Telegram. Personally, I would be stretched a little thin if I ended up coming and chatting on Discord as well. But I'll definitely pass that on. I know a few people have asked about that.
I got an idea because someone else asked this question earlier about any way the community can help. But why don't we see if there's any way to filter some of the community members to kind of handle Discord to an extent, but keep it on like a volunteer type of nature?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great idea. I'll definitely pass that on and see maybe if we can get some community mods that have some basic permissions in Discord to kind of help out. I think some of the OGs that have been around definitely have the reputation in the community to be able to handle that. Yeah.
Yeah, because definitely you see it in Telegram where, like you said, some of the OG community members definitely hold it down for some people when the team aren't there for a second. So I definitely thought that could be done very well in Discord, because a lot of other like Web3 games are on Discord, but a lot of early the breach could happen in it, pretty much.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's definitely something that we'll look into. I'll definitely pass on and see if we can start doing a little bit of that. That'd be nice.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for that. So, Sap Daddy, you are up next. Hello.
Hi. How you doing? Can everyone hear me?
Yes,
sir.
Alrighty. First of all, Matt, nice to speak to you in person. And I just had a question that came up during the course of this AMA. Will Hypergems be obtainable in a way that's off OpenSea, like any events and games that could lead to us obtaining Hypergems?
Yeah, so with the tournaments that are happening in the future, there's definitely going to be rewards for those. So I would assume that Hypergems would be a great potential reward for those types of tournaments, for leaderboards, things like that.
All right, that sounds awesome. Thanks for answering.
Yeah, of course. When that happens, we'll see. But I'm definitely really excited to kind of get into that because I want to see how badly everyone kicks my butt. Okay, so thank you for the questions, everyone. If we have more questions, now would be a great time to raise your hand. We are kind of wrapping up at the moment, if not. Relatively short one today, 30 minutes in and out, but some good answers here. We're talking about how land and PvP is going to be the next push in our biggest update, or our next biggest update, our next major update here. The next step is just kind of getting there, getting lands going, getting token burns going, getting the circular economy, the token economy moving, making sure that we can get more NFTs in the game, that sort of thing. So very excited for what's coming up next. And I will see you all in the Telegram like I have every day for quite a while.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for everything.
Okay, well, that's it for now. Thanks, everyone. We definitely appreciate you coming today, and this should be available for listening in the future. It looks like it is recording, so unless Twitter messes up, you can listen to this in the future, send it to your friends, all that fun stuff, and talk to you all soon.